Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Downtime in the Ring. This week, so previously before we had a man named Ocean Avery, and I called him one of the three pillars of OTR. Well, we are graced with the second, the high flyer, a very charismatic man, a man you can watch regularly on FSW in Las Vegas if you guys are in the area.
Yes, sir.
We
FSW Network.
we are graced by Dante King. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good, man.
I'm actually excited to be here. I'm sorry it took so long. I'm so bad with my phone, but I appreciate you guys working with my schedule and fitting me in. Cause man, I would if I was you, I'd have been a little frustrated. But I'm glad you didn't take it out on me. So
No,
Oh,
you're
no
you're
problem.
Good. You're good, brother. You're good. So, first question is,
all right.
and this is going to be a generic one, especially for you and hopefully Gypsy soon when we have her on, is what brought you to OTR?
What brought me to OTR? Well, that is a great question. Um, it's a little bit of a long story.
That's good.
Yes, well, yes and no. So I hope you don't mind me going on a little bit, but we'll start from.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm about I want to say 6, 7 years old, and my mom started training in this backyard at Albuquerque, and I always loved wrestling as a kid. We watched it every Friday because we had to watch the public television, so SmackDown was my fucking go-to, and we ended up so my mom ended up training in this backyard for 3, 4 months, and I remember that vividly as a kid. So one day I'm just kind of browsing my YouTube. This is pandemic time, about 2020. Um, and this thing comes up. It's The Rock versus John Cena, and I lose my shit. Right, I have not watched wrestling in 10 years, and I'm like, this happened. So right away, as soon as I got into that, I just got into the rabbit hole of wrestling. Right, I'm just watching all these matches, all this stuff that I missed over the years, and it's I really want to do this. And then immediately once I told myself that, I went and I thought about it, and I was like, my mom used to train with some guy here. So I tell my mom hey, do you think you get me in contact with him? I don't know, I know it was over 15 years ago, but why not? And so she does her little research, and turns out that that person that she was training in the backyard, or who was training her, was Mosh Pit Mike. Crazy. So crazy, right? So Mosh Pit Mike, I find him on Facebook and I message him, and he points me in the direction of Gino, because Gino was the only one running a school at the time, and that's how I got into contact with Gino. So I messaged Gino, and I started the very next week because it was the beginning of the month. Put my payment down for school, and that's where it is. So I think it was November of 2020 that I started training.
Okay,
November 5th, to be
that's
exact.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Especially
it's a full circle thing. It was so weird, but knowing this guy when I was a little kid, meeting him, you know what I mean, going to all these wrestling shows, and then my mom ended up training, and then he ends up leading me in the direction of Gino, so I can be a wrestler.
So were you SmackDown Angle Cena era, or was it more later on?
No, we're talking about so
Matt Hardy MVP.
Yes, actually, somewhere around there. So you think
Yep.
about, do you remember the big feud? This was always one of my favorites to go back to, but it's Edge, Batista, and The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
my era of wrestling.
Yep.
That's my favorite era of SmackDown ever, because I was just so Edge to me was so believable. The Undertaker was my fucking superhero. And Batista also, I loved Batista as a kid too, so it was just
I was going through my Hardy phase at the time. I was
okay.
wow. It was always on my 40 TV in Albuquerque or something like that.
Yeah, some crazy
It was
stuff.
my 40 TV in Albuquerque.
No, it's
the
my
local
50.
my 50,
Yeah,
my
yeah, my
50,
50
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
And before that, it was CW.
CW was channel
Yep.
19.
Yes.
Yeah, you already
That's awesome.
Oh my
Yep.
god. Well, that is amazing to hear that that's how you started. So, going on from OTR, what made you want to take the chance to go with FSW? How did that come along? Because the school there has brought so many people into the main event scene all over from Impact, AEW, and WWE.
We'll put it like this. Like first and foremost, I've always wanted to be the best at what I do. When I was a kid, I played basketball. I went to college and was the best I possibly could be. And that road ended. You know what I mean? When I was playing video games competitively, I wanted to be the best possible gamer that I could be, as well as streaming. So it's the same energy when I go into wrestling. Like I strive to be the best. And there was 2 years ago, actually, almost to the date, where we went to FSW and Gypsy Mac wrestled Sandra Moon for the FSW Women's Championship. And it was like the first time I walked in there, like I see all these guys ready in their gear, prepped, rolling around already, like getting their matches done, you know what I mean? And it's just a whole other level of entertainment because they take it like so much more serious, you know what I mean, rather than you're just like run of the mill indie shows, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, you don't get a lot of quantity there, or not a lot of quality there, I should say. As to where, we got there, everyone was like, communicating, and I don't know, the environment was different, right? I'd never seen something like it. And then the show starts. So I get a first-hand look at the backstage area and the show, and I'm watching the whole thing. And to me, that was just like the place to be, right? Like this is like top tier right now in my eyes when I first started. And I came over here. Gypsy had the idea to move over here like a year ago. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And so, that you can thank her for that. It was all her idea.
So, how does it feel when you do perform for FSW? As you could tell, because I took that picture, tagged you in it, a few weeks back, getting to watch FSW is a very entertaining promotion. How does it feel every time, though? Because this is just a closer stepping stone to where you want to be. And the fact that it is on technically television, it's a streaming service on
Well, on
Fight
Fight
TV.
TV as well. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel every time that you step through that curtain?
It's it's the best thing I could put it is like, in the movies when those people are like, giving out and they give them that shot of adrenaline and you just like come to life. That's what it is like every time. I've never been in this kind of environment. Obviously, I had done like TV style stuff before. Granted, like Rocky Mountain Pro, who is like whose production is really good. Um, so I've been somewhere like that, but like on a platform like that, and then with the level of talent as well. You know what I mean? You go out there and man, you feel that crowd. It's a very intimate setting where the crowd is like pretty much right next to us, and it just like the cameras are on you, the big lights are on. It's it's exhilarating, but it's in a good way. It's not too overwhelming.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you preparing? How are you mentally preparing for? You have a big match coming. This episode will come out at 11 a.m. your time. So later tonight, when people are listening, you have a very big match coming up. How do you feel?
Uh, I feel I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you, but at the same time, like it's like I said, I've been preparing myself for this right here. You know what I mean? We do this thing where we stay ready so we don't have to get ready, right? Consistently in the gym, consistently training, and as much as we're like wrestling not only at FSW but at other places, you know what I mean? Just getting those reps in. We prepare for this kind of thing. So as big of a match as it is, I'm very excited, and I know I'm gonna go out there and do what I need to do or what I can do.
Stepping away from wrestling, because even though we are a wrestling podcast, we have been going towards trying to figure out who you are as a person. Chris found out something very interesting, and I'm going to shoot the ball over to him real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna shoot you a line and you complete that line. Okay?
Okay.
The devil hit my phone, he wanna talk.
But I'm not really up for conversations.
Yep. So the conversation that I want to have with you is, who's Juice World to you as an artist?
He's my favorite artist to
Mhm.
ever have been in any kind of music, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of favorites, like a lot of favorites. Don't get me wrong, but like the way his music spoke to me and his music was there for me in a time that nobody else was. It's just like it's a different feeling, you know what I mean? And it's a little hard to explain past that. Yeah. It just and then especially when I've never known him personally, obviously,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
like it's like I said, when the music speaks to you differently than any person can, and then especially after his passing, it was just like it was a lot for me. But
It was a very rough passing. I got into him just right before he left, and it sucked. It sucked, and like the album afterwards that came out with all this stuff, and coming to learn like how like most of his stuff was just in there. It
yeah,
wasn't written. It
all
wasn't
off the
written.
top, yeah. Like
Yes.
especially the Goodbye and Good Riddance. Most of that album, I want to say actually the whole album is freestyled and just mixed.
Yes.
Um, from what I heard, and then
And I got into him when like his one of his first major albums was the design of a PlayStation 1
yeah,
CD case. I was just like, that's dope.
yeah.
Okay, I'll give it that. As far as other influences, or were you like a playing video games, were you like a PlayStation, Xbox kid or anything like that?
I've always been a PlayStation kid. I'm not gonna lie to
Mm,
you. I don't think I've ever owned an Xbox. I'm not gonna lie. Even now that I play on my computer, I still use a PlayStation controller. Video games, me and my brother used to play like so much,
mhm.
and it just led me into one day, he was just playing Fortnite. This guy's just playing Fortnite. I'm like, dude, like everybody plays Fortnite. Don't be playing Fortnite, right? And this is like I want to say when it first came out, like first chapter, season 4 or whatever. He's like, "Nah, dude, you gotta play it." So the me and my brother started playing a lot of Fortnite, and we bonded even more over Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think you can get any closer to your brother? But you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Playing the game every day.
And did
And
you ever post those Fortnite clips
oh yeah,
on
if you
YouTube?
if
If
well
I've done my yes, Dante King Gaming on YouTube.
if
I've
you
seen a
dig far
couple of
enough in my
those.
Twitter, you can find some too. If you dig far enough in my
Yeah.
Twitter, you can find some. But I loved it too at the same time. You know what I mean? I was able to. Granted, it did take me a while. It took me a couple years. I've had my Twitch for about 4 years, and it took me 3 of those to get what I had. But I was able to make a pretty good income off of Twitch and off of the
Nice.
game itself. So, like, for a while there, I was just, that's what I was doing. And, it was really fun. You just sit there and play games, right? Like, who else
Yep.
would want, who wouldn't want to do that?
Mhm.
And especially during like pandemic era when like everyone was inside, like what else are we gonna do? You know?
Yep. Either that or a podcast.
Right. Right. Just vibe with the boys. Either way, it's happening.
Yeah.
Keep the ball rolling, Chris. I'm gonna find a Fortnite clip right now. I'm gonna
Oh,
Oh
post.
okay.
yeah.
I'm finding one. I
Yo,
am
what if I
determined.
what if I just link you a montage right now and you could play that one?
Oh, okay. I
How
am
about that?
down. Yeah.
How about that?
Let me
I
see
think
how.
that's a lot easier. And
Yeah.
I really am a fan of this montage. I think it's my best work, just because like it was the peak of my competitive Fortnite run, and well, also peak of like my Twitch streams and my YouTube, everything. Loved it.
So what was it like? Give me like because I tried starting a Twitch multiple times, and it's often like I was kind of like one of those ADHD kids, like, oh, I don't see anything happening. How did you get past that mindset of the zero viewer?
I was honestly very lucky to have friends who supported me so well. You know what I mean? Especially during that time where
Hmm.
like I had all online friends at one point who I was closest to because just that bond over the pandemic. You talk to these guys every day. You know what I mean? You play with them, you get to know them, and I just got very fortunate to enter a community where they all supported me. And after a while of having those no viewers, it's like people start popping in. It's like, oh, he's getting better. Let's start watching him. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
after a while, 3 viewers becomes 5 viewers, five becomes seven, seven jumps up to 15. And then at one point, I'm averaging like, 20 viewers a game, stream. And like, that's good enough for me. I'm happy one person is watching me. 20 people want to watch me. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it was it's like chiming back to what I did earlier. It's like what I said earlier is like I worked hard for it. So it's like by the time it came, it was like wasn't even a second thought. It's just it showed up faster than I thought, and it's like cool. I can work with this. I'm happy.
I say that because for this podcast and the channel that this is a part of,
Right.
it's at 7 subscribers, I believe, Donovan. We're growing and we're putting in the work by getting interviews such as yourself, such as Gino, such as Ocean. You know, Gino was the first one, I believe, wasn't it? With you and I.
So we branched off from a bigger channel and just started doing strictly podcasts. The first one that me and him did, because I did about 3 or 4 by myself, was Gino.
Okay.
All because I got to see him compete at AEW in El Paso, and I was like, all right, I want to meet this man. I want to pick his brain.
Oh, you saw him over there.
Yeah. Gino was doing one of the last darks that had.
That's where you wrestled Big Bill, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never seen anybody get thrown in the air that high. That scared me, but I got excited and I wanted to meet him, and that's how this all came to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But then also like just like the willingness to like pursue something, just take a chance on yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just like wrestling, taking a chance on yourself and believing it'll fall through.
Why have you stopped doing the Twitch streams and all that?
Honestly, it's because I forget. Like it's just that's the biggest thing. Like you could ask Gypsy, I'm on this goddamn game every day. And it doesn't take nothing for me to open my Streamlabs and press the live button, but like I literally just forget. Like I don't think about it because like it hasn't been a part of my life for the better part of like 3 years now. So like it's not even a thought. But she tells me all the time, like, I don't know why you don't just stream. You play for so long every day. Like if you stream every day, I'm sure it'll get the traction back. But you know,
Yeah, because we had Marty the Moth on, and that's where he still keeps up with most of his community is through Twitch streams.
that's awesome.
So might be something you might want to try again if you remember.
Well, I've definitely thought about it. Like I would just have what I'm doing now, like how I did with my Twitter, kind of, because my Twitter is like it used to be my gaming Twitter, and now it's my wrestling Twitter. You know what I mean? It's like a business account or whatever
Yeah.
you call it. It's just be like revamping my whole thing, getting like layovers and soundboards and all that stuff. It's an interesting thought for sure. We'll have to come back to that.
As an artist, I can tell you are very emotional, and I've gotten to witness that a little bit with the OTR stuff. You love it so much. So what could you tell, not only because probably some people from OTR are going to listen to this, especially because you're on here, but other young wrestlers who I'm going to recommend this video to, what could you tell them?
Just bust your ass, man. Day in and day out. Just work hard. Like, and that's really all it takes because you guys, like, granted, you have a good trainer, you know what I mean? You have a good school, good support system. Not everybody has that, you know what I mean? Just bust your ass. Get in the weight room, get strong. Just it's not only for, oh, well, I have to be able to pick somebody up. Yes, you have to be able to pick somebody up, but your body has to be maintained. This is a very like what you see business, right? Like you look at somebody, it's like, oh, that guy could be a wrestler, right? You go to the weight room and you see a guy juiced up, oh, that guy could be a wrestler. Not everybody's gonna look like that. It's very subjective. But you want to have strong tendons. You want to be able to take care of your opponent and be safe. All these things factor into wrestling. You need to be strong to do those things. If I could just press it in the brain, is just to work hard and be consistent. That's the biggest thing. I wasn't always good at this. I feel like I still am not that great now, but we're working hard and we're improving. Every single day we improve.
Where did the love for Ocean come from? Like y'all's just friendship. Where did that come from? That's one thing that I'm so curious about, even though he wants to have like a 4-person podcast where both of you guys are on here, and I don't think that we can handle that yet.
Oh my god, I would love it so much. Me and Ocean, like, we bonded through wrestling on the road. Ocean was riding with us everywhere, any chance he got, and especially it was a little rough on his body and on his schedule for work. Um, uh, it's just like it was a lot at the time, but that's how we bonded. And we wrestled each other fucking countless times, And through wrestling, you get that kind of relationship with somebody, you're just like, next thing you know, you're best friends. Just happens. Same thing with one of our guys, Roland Steele, who you guys have probably heard about.
Mhm.
Me, him, and Gypsy, same thing. Always traveling with us. We're always training. You know what I mean? Especially when he came back, he just developed that bond. And yeah, me and Ocean are both shit talkers, and we're funny guys, so we like to keep it that way.
Yeah, he was telling us a lot of different things when we were heading up on the road with him up to Utah. So he just kept saying it over and over. You got to have both of us on the podcast, and I'm like,
Oh my god, it's just like you have to be prepared for a little bit of chaos if you're gonna have us both on the podcast. I'm not gonna lie to you there.
That's so much. It's not going to be a little bit. I already know it's going to be a lot of chaos.
There's
It's
just
going to
gonna
be a
be
lot.
like a lot of sidebars.
Yeah.
It will be.
A lot of sidebars. That would be funny.
At one
So
point, you're just gonna have to throw subtitles underneath and be like, "This is what
yeah.
they're saying."
How was your experience with Summer Brawl? As how Ocean had his own story. Gino, obviously, probably the most stressed of them all. From what I've heard, I wasn't at Summer Brawl, unfortunately. But what was your point of view of all of that?
I thought that was a really good day. I know people were stressed out and things got crazy and we're worried about the athletic commission and other things out of our control. But I really think that was a really good day. And as far as matches, like I enjoyed everyone's match. I think top to bottom it was a really good card. And even like you seen, like it's like to chime in on what you said earlier about the emotion, Mine and JKM's match made me very emotional because like my family's there. There's people who I've never seen, just wrestling fans there, you know what I mean? Like people who came to watch the show. Everyone else's family's there, it's just like it was a really nice environment to be in, and hearing those chants, man, the crowd was just hot, it was a lot. But by the end of the day, I felt like when I, had my cider, I was like, this was a really good day.
Y'all's match was probably my favorite. I can say that now that I'm not afraid of Ocean as much anymore. Yeah, y'all, it was just exciting. It was fast paced. You never knew what was going to happen, especially from, JKM jumping over the ropes, coming at you outside of the ring. It was a fantastic match overall.
I think my favorite match was the main event, though.
I gotta see a couple of clips from that match. It was pretty good.
I think it's up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, the full
Wow.
match is up on YouTube now. Each of
you guys
y'all's.
Yeah, all of them are up there now. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, I have to look back at that.
One question we typically ask everybody who's still traveling on the indies is, what dates do you have coming up, or who are you most excited to or you want to face on the indies?
It's a great question. The dates I have coming up, because my schedule. Who knows? So tomorrow, actually, we'll be driving out to Arizona, and I'm wrestling Gypsy tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah. Saturday, I have my No Limits title match on Fight TV, and then on Sunday, me and Gypsy both actually are making our Pride Style debuts here in Vegas. And I think I will be in Utah on the 21st, which is next week. The week after? One of the two?
no,
Next
it's
week,
next week.
next week.
It's next week.
Okay,
next
yeah.
week.
I'll be in Salt Lake at Dive Pro Wrestling.
Propose you this question since I asked Ocean this and I asked Gino this prior. Your favorite road story and your favorite Gino story and your favorite Ocean story.
Favorite road story, favorite Gino story, favorite Ocean story. I can start with my favorite Gino story.
Okay, cool.
Fair. That's what we really want to know.
So there's this place out in Arizona called IZW. You guys have probably heard of it.
Yeah.
Really cool place, right? And one time we're sitting at IZW, and one of these refs, I don't know if he was a new ref or like, maybe just new to the promotion or something, but we're all in the back changing, and this ref is like, he's talking to Gino, right? And Gino's just like in his like spandex, nothing else. That he's just in his spandex, like standing right next to him, listening, acting like he's listening to what he's saying. And as he's doing that, he's like inching closer to him.
in no clothes. He's just getting closer. And he's standing there looking at him, and we're dying. This man has no clothes on. We're dying so hard, right? And then like we're like he like notices us laughing. He's like, "What are you guys laughing at?" And like we're just like look at Gino. We're like looking at him and like, "Oh, nothing, nothing, bro." Like, and Gino's still like trying not to pop. Like he plays that. He's like
Yeah.
playing it cool, right? Oh, we were crying so hard, and like it was just I don't know why it was so funny at the time, but it really was.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I could only imagine. I could see that in my head, especially when
He's
he has
just
his
such
arms
a
crossed.
troll. Yeah, he's just such a troll, and he does it on purpose. I'm like, dude.
Oh,
But
I
yeah,
get
man.
you,
that's
William. Yeah.
a favorite road story. We'll tell you about the road trip from hell.
Oh,
Road trip
Yeah,
from hell.
this is a road trip from hell. So if I have it right, it was. I need exact names because I know Lucas Scratch was there for sure.
okay.
I was there. Gypsy was there, obviously, and it was. I want to say it was Roland, and then you guys know Gian probably, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So it was all five of us in the car, and so we're driving back, and actually it might have just been four of us. I don't know if Roland was back yet, but I mean,
Yeah.
So I know it's four of us for sure, right? We're driving back from I want to say it's Arizona, and it's a 6 hour drive either to Tucson or to Phoenix. So wherever we were coming from, it was far, and we ended up getting all the way to Los Lunas, and there was a road closure. So we stayed on that road an extra like I want to say 2.5, 3 hours. And like, this is the tail end of the road trip. Everyone's tired. Like, the only thing we're running off of is fast food and energy drinks. Like, and at that point, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like everyone's brains are fried. We had a show. We are hurting from the bumps. Like, this is just like really nerve wracking to be at the tail end of the trip. So, those 2.5 hours or whatever it just felt like so long, but we had a great time, right? We're singing and we're talking shit and we're like talking about how frustrating it is, but we're like still just trying to have a good time, trying to vibe out, you know what I mean? At the time, that I don't know if you guys know the corn kid meme.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yes,
corn.
yeah.
Oh
So
no.
that was popular at the time. So we had Gian in the back and Gypsy in the back screaming corn every fucking 15 minutes. So Lucas scratches in the front, losing his mind. I think at one point I even got out and like body slammed a parking cone because I was so upset how long we were in the car. It was a crazy trip. I think that's my favorite road story for sure.
He said or road closure, and my mind immediately went to the
Wait.
mountain tried to kill us.
Yeah, your story ain't far from the tree from us. Except
Yeah.
you forgot a mudslide and a podcast.
Oh my god, a mudslide?
Yeah, when we
Yeah,
were coming
that's
up for Princess Death Wish's thing.
Oh yeah, you guys were
yeah.
telling me about that. No, that's so unfortunate, guys. No,
It
you guys.
was 2 hours out from location. It was in the canyon, and then we were getting redirected, and we found a way. I don't know, Ocean with his Oregon Trail style sense of uh
Direction.
direction found and I guess everyone else was also following the same road. So like it's just a county road,
Yeah,
just conveniently around the mudslide, and then we just get there. Like
that's
yeah,
cool.
it was the
I
worst.
believe you. I believe you, cause I mean, even just based off of like Ocean when he got there, you know what I mean? I was like, brother, are you guys okay? He's like, no, we've been on the road for so long.
and then a full 13-hour
Yes,
drive
it was.
back
Yeah.
because
What?
yeah, it was a 13-hour drive for me and him, or for me and him. I'm pointing the wrong way because we live in Roswell, not Albuquerque. 3 hours on top of that.
So it's the final question. It's the final one. You left
Final
the
question.
biggest one of all. What is your favorite ocean story? Okay, that's fine.
I might have to.
Yeah, that's good.
Because one, it's funny in hindsight. It wasn't funny at the time, but like, granted, like, granted, this guy is okay. Like, nothing happened to him, but so we're in Waco, Texas, right? And this is Ocean's, like, one of Ocean's like first big matches against T-Ray. Uh, and T-Ray's a heavyweight champion at the time in Waco. I think he still might be. Um, and so he's wrestling in the main event, this like big match for him, right? And he had been working on I think it was a pile driver. Yeah, he'd even given it to me. It was a pile driver, gotcha pile driver. Easy stuff, right? He's done it hundreds of times. He practiced it, he made sure it was safe, like it was totally cool. So he hooks for this pile driver, and like I guess from the grease of the baby oil and the sweat on T-Ray, like he just slips off of Ocean's legs and just spikes. Bang. It was not a head bump, it was a high neck bump, but it was really gross. It was really gross. And so he was very upset about it, at the time, but like um granted, like you just almost hurt somebody, but like in hindsight, right, it's just like he was just like apologizing and like, I'm so sorry. And T-Ray's like, dude, I'm okay, like it's okay, like you took care of me, you didn't kill me, it's fine. But he's still like, we're young guys at the time too in the business, so he's like, I'm sorry, right? And like, dude, like it's all right, bro, it's all right. My second favorite Ocean story was obviously winning the SCP Tag Team Championships. That was just so much fun for me, and I'm sure it was fun for him too. But like that moment, especially like, like we kind of came up together, you know what I mean? He started a little bit after I did, and him leaving kind of hurt me. I was a little upset about it. And then him coming back, especially like just like a full circle moment of like us two staying in the ring with the two championships, just a couple of dogs. That was like that was really cool to me. It was just, and then especially like, like um SCP, having me as a sole survivor in that, like just everything was just perfect about it. And then we go and have a drink after at the bar at Jake's back room. It was a special night for sure.
I
So that's
like
my
that.
top. That's my first one. All right.
Yeah. I like that I like that little tradition that you and him seem to have created where you guys have a drink with each other after every tag team match.
Yeah, we trade off. You buy, I buy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really do. I respect it. It's those little minute things in the business that make it wholesome still. Make it human, I guess is
Yeah.
what the best way that I could say it.
Well, like, and especially you got to know, like, not everyone in this business is your friend. Not everyone in this business is going to be your friend or want to be your friend or even care to be your friend. But, like, you get those individuals who, like, you really build that bond with. I feel like, especially the genuineness of it, you know what I mean? You got to keep that, especially if they support you and, they encourage you. They believe in you just as, like, even when you don't believe in yourself. Like, these are the type of people you want to stick around with.
So, how can everybody find your socials? Where can everybody find you?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram as Dante King Wrestling, Twitter, I think it's Twitter and Threads that I'm the Dante King. I'm on TikTok as the Dante King and YouTube Dante King Wrestling.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of Downtime in the Ring. We loved having Dante on here. Definitely going to have you on again because I have a feeling that you have just a bright future ahead of you. And plus, like I said, you're one of the pillars. We're going to definitely have to have you and Ocean on. I'm going to have to mentally prepare for that one, though.
Oh, yeah. We
That's
got so much
for
more
sure.
to talk about. We got so much more to talk about.
Oh, just having those two together. We gotta have like a little like tag team something, trivia or something like that to figure out me and Chris versus y'all two. We're gonna have to figure something out like that for a special episode. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.